hopping back in, I am going to start with the air signs because hands down, the amount of people, of all the people with question marks in the comment section of my last video, you sweet air babies were the ones who had the most, especially if you happen to be a double air, double moon, or air moon, air sun. And so as a brief reminder, if you haven't seen that video, this context might be confusing. Moon is internal, what you do with yourself. It's private, it's veiled. And your sun is external, it's your solar energy, what you're doing with other people out there in this world. And I had mentioned that airs are the connectors. So if you see, feel, or work with energy, this might make sense. But air, incredibly cerebral, and it moves from the head out horizontally, okay? So a lot of the questions were saying, what does it mean to connect? And I'm going to do the super annoying therapist thing and hand it right back to you and say, what does it mean to you to connect? How do you know you are in connection? What connecting experiences have you had in the past? And, I've got some ideas for you if you're coming up blank. But you guys are brilliant. You guys are the brains of the zodiac, okay? It's so cerebral that I know you'll figure it out. But when we think about, like connecting with self, so we'll start with like an air moon, connecting with self. Sometimes might be I need to be around other people and in connection with other people in service of my internal sense of feeling at home and secure within myself, because that's what the moon is all about. Like, how do we feel secure and at home so that we can access our gifts to then move through this world with integrity and fortification? So, think maybe it means being around other people where you get to think about things and talk about things. What about writing it, writing it down, like using the mind to access all this intelligence that helps you draw connections to ideas, to experiences, to other people, to environments, to groups, to society, to consciousness. However it is that you kind of weave that web of connection. And so, writing about another thing too, breath work, holotropic breath work. Air people tend to really thrive, working with the wind, in the air, breathing, rolling down your windows and feeling the wind in your hair when you're driving. It can be as simple as that. Like, what are the things that just make you feel secure and at home with yourself? The beautiful gift with air is its ability to lighten it up, right? Like literally lighten, like bring it up, make it lighter. Air is, it's not dense like earth. It doesn't go into the deeps like water. It can be like, hey, water, come up here for some air. Like, take a breath. It doesn't have to, it can fuel the flames of the fires. It's such a gift, and it really is stunning. And so my favorite little quip that I picked up from a teacher along the way for air is, Libras are shaken hands, Aquarius is talk to the hand, and Gemini says, let's hold hands. Which I think kind of encompasses some of their, and then for the Aquarians out there saying, well, talk to the hand, isn't that disconnecting? Aquarius is all about group consciousness, right? Like, it wants to be in connection with groups. Now, Aquarius can be, struggle with the individuals of the group. They would like to just exist in group consciousness without the individuals, but of course our consciousness hasn't evolved to that place yet where we can have groups without individuals. So they deal with them. They deal with the individuals for the sake of getting to be part of the group, and lead groups often. And so, yeah, I encourage you to think about that. It's like, so for the moon, it's like what you're doing for yourself to feel at home. And if you're a double air, and the more that you are connecting with yourself, the more that you are feeling at home and secure within yourself, the more available you are going to be to weave these webs of connections out in the world in service of creating and building communities of, connection is such a vital ingredient to not only our survival as humans, but for us to thrive and to be successful. And so I hope that's helpful. That's where, when we're thinking about the air signs, You know, obviously you can take this deeper. You can go into your specific air sign. You know, Libra is cardinal, so it's initiating things, it's starting things. We have Aquarius, which is fixed, it's stable, it's sturdy, it's gonna hold. And then we have Gemini, that's like, what's coming next? Like, I'm wrapping this up, I'm being creative, I'm transforming it, I'm out there scooting along, gathering more. Because air moves very quickly too, so it's scattered out across the surface. But it's more stable than fire in the way that it moves, because they both move fast. And so, yes. And I'm sorry if you don't like metaphor, because that is just where my brain lives, and I just live in the land of metaphor. So those are the notes I have for air people. I hope that that is a little bit more satisfying than my first video. And yes, I have 2 air daughters, and they agreed with all of you, saying you did not talk enough about air. You skipped right over us. So you guys are correct. And so I wanted to start with y'all to give you a little bit more.